Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another film review. Tonight we're looking at an absolute classic of a film, a British comedy parody horror, folk horror film, and it's called Bloodbath at the House of Death. This is an absolute wonderful film. It stars Kenny Everett, Pamela Stevenson, Vincent Price, Gareth Hunt, amongst others. Loads of sort of famous sort of British actors, and this is a real gem of a cult film. Absolutely wonderful. It's based on this house, this manor house in England, and it's got a history of these satanic pagan monks that sort of cursed the house, and there's been reports of killings and murders of the house, and the film starts off with these monks going to this house and killing like 18 people in there, and it's quite gory. There's quite a few good kills in there with axes and knives and hangings and skewing with spears. There's also these sort of deaths going on at the beginning. And then we sort of cut to the present day, and we got our scientists, and these are our stars: Kenny Everett, Pamela Stevenson, and Gareth Hunt, and all these wonderful, wonderful actors and actresses. And they're heading to this house because they're all scientists, and they're trying to uncover the sort of history of this house. What's going on? Is there a paranormal sort of activity going on in there? And so they go in there to investigate, and we see them all in their individual cars sort of turning up to this house. And this is where the parodies start. There's loads and loads of parodies in this film, and one of the big ones at the beginning is American Werewolf in London, where we got Kenny Everett and Pamela Stevenson. They go to the pub and they see this sort of satanic sort of markings on the wall, and they're saying we're looking for this house, and the pub all goes quiet and all this sort of thing. And then there's loads of sort of jokes that appear in the pub. They start discussing how many people were killed there before with the pub and people in the pub, and they're sitting there with calculators trying to work it all out and all this sort of thing. It's quite funny, and there's some really wonderful characters in the pub. The barmaid's incredible and really funny, and there's this blind guy who just walks and crashes into every table. There's all these sort of like slapstick sort of humour going on in the background, in behind all this sort of macabre tale. So these two bumped into the pub trying to find their way to this manor house, and meanwhile we got Gareth Hunt and his boyfriend in another car. We got another scientist and a friend in another car. We got a Cleo Rockus with this sort of American dude in another car, and they're all going to this manor house. And eventually they all arrive there, and Kenny Everett and that arrives quite late, and he says how pleased he is that they're all here to investigate what's going on in this house. And on the way there, Kenny Everett finds a so-called dead body in the woods, and it's supposed to be being the barmaid. And he tries calling the police, and they're no help because they've also got the symbol. All the people in the village have got the symbol, this tattooed on their arm. Even the local dog has got it tattooed on his head. So they're all a part of this sort of cult sort of thing. So this is where the folk horror part of the film comes in. It's like a sort of pagan-y folk that live in this town trying to protect this house. Because if no one goes in it, the house evil ways carry on working, but when people go in it, there's danger, so they try and sort of like bump off anyone that goes in the house. And then we meet Vincent Price, and he's like the leader of this cult, and it really, and this is another parody in there. We've got the Massacre of the Red Death parody now. We've got parodies of The Shining, The Entity, Carrie. There's so many sort of entities, and you'll see them pop up throughout the film, and it's absolutely hilarious and wonderful. And there's quite a few deaths in this film, and they're all quite gory. And it's like there's one part which we go to a backstory, Kenny Everett, and he's like this surgeon. I think it's almost playing out like Andy Warhol's Frankenstein sort of thing. There's a parody of that, and it's all this sort of gore going on, and it's really really wonderful. But behind it is all this silly slapstick humour, and it's absolutely incredible. Kenny Everett's got this really hilarious metal leg. Oh, I'll tell you, I couldn't stop giggling throughout the film. It was just so funny. There's so many little things in it that was just so funny, and it was just so wonderful. This is an absolute cult classic. It's absolutely amazing, and it's a really cool British comedy horror film. And it's been years since I've seen it. I've not seen this since this has come out. This is probably like a sort of early 80s sort of film. And it was really really cool, and they really played on all these sort of parodies, and it has a feel of there's even a parody of the Hammer House of Horror, the house that dripped blood, and all this sort of thing going in the thing, and some of it's almost like an Amicus film. There's the bit of the Amicus film Asylum where you have this toy that's killer, and it's a toy killer, like a bear in this. It's got all this sort of parodies going on that if you know your horrors, you will see them, and they're absolutely hilarious and really really cool. And then behind it is quite a good story, almost like a sort of poltergeist sort of story. So they're going to investigate this house that's all these murders have happened, and all this sort of thing. And there's an underlying folk horror storyline of this cult, this pagan cult that worship these old monks that were sort of there. And then the film has a bit of a sci-fi feel to it because these villagers are supposed to be from outer space. It's that mixed up. The humour, if I've got to compare the humour, if you think of Peter Jackson's Bad Taste and Brain Dead, it's that sort of line of humour. Not as extreme gore as that, but there is a lot of gore in this, but not as gory as those. But the humour is quite similar, and it's absolutely really cool. The pluses of this edition is absolutely incredible. It comes with 2 discs. You've got a disc of the film, which is cool, and then you've got another disc of Kenny Everett's Naughty Joke Box and Kenny Everett's Naughty Video Show, which is really cool. So it's got like another sort of like added bonus to the to things. That's really really cool. It looks really good. The picture quality is really cool. The gore is very vibrant and amazing. The cast is incredible. Kenny Everett's character is absolutely amazing. He plays it so well. It's so cool, and I love Vincent Price. He's his normal Shakespearean self in the film, and all the other cast are all rememberable, and all the characters, you like them, even the villagers. You know, you like every character in this film, and it's just a joy to sit there and watch it. An essential watch. 10 out of 10. Absolutely brilliant. That's why it's so good. I've not seen this for many years. It's, you know, it's one of those films that you seem to garner by, but it's just got this new Blu-ray release here in the UK on Nucleus Films. Really cool. Definitely worth picking up. And it is so good, guys. I really highly recommend. You will have nothing but a great fun time watching this. It's so cool. Even the music's stupid and cool. I love it. And it just plays out. And I love all these sort of little parodies that happen. And they're just so funny, and there's just so many little one-liners, and there's lots of slapstick humour. There's a lot of deaths and gore going on, some off-screen and some on-screen, so you get to see some of the deaths. It's really cool, and it's just brilliant, really, really cool. Bloodbath at the House of Death. 10 out of 10. Any of you guys seen it? If you have, let me know down below what you think of it. It's such a cool film. It's an absolute hidden gem. It's an absolute cult film, and I'm sure people that have seen this maybe have forgotten about it, and maybe it just needs that revisit by you all. And I recommend revisiting it. And it's great to see Kenny Everett again in a really cool role. I forgot how funny he is and good. I mean, I used to love the Kenny Everett show. It was very wacky, very wild, and that, and you know, God bless his soul, he's not with us anymore. But yeah, he started off as a radio DJ, and I'm surprised we haven't had any tales about him because of all these things that we hear about, tales from these people from the 70s. But thank goodness there isn't any. And he's a wonderful, wonderful showman in this film, and he plays it out really, really well. Please check it out, guys. Bloodbath at the House of Death. Really cool. Till my next video, please check out some horror channels. Check out Horror Hands, Horror Geek, Man v Film, RS Design, Pizzlewell, I'm Ice Little Cat Watches Horror Movies, Grumpy Andrew's Haunted House, and The Maniac. And a massive shout out to my lad. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I'll see you all soon.